Hey vinyl community, Mike the Aural Retentive here, with a big pile of stuff to show. I haven't made a video for a while, but I've been getting a bunch of stuff, so I just kind of piled it all up to make one big video. So there's stuff here that I ordered, stuff from Half Price Books that I picked up. I sold 2 of my vinyl portraits at the record store where I had them for sale. So I had some money to spend there, and I got a couple things that I had pre-ordered. So I don't even know where to start. Guess we'll start with, so I think I talked about going to see the Black Angels. Saw them on May 13th. That show was awesome. I just picked up their Death Song, is their new one. Death Song, well, it wasn't new this year. I think it was 2016 if I'm not mistaken. Doesn't say. 2017. Okay, so it is from this year, but it wasn't like released on Record Store Day. So, but anyways, the show was great. I'm not going to bother to put the pictures in here that I took because they weren't very good. But at the show, I purchased one of their older albums called Phosphine Dream. This one has a booklet in it that has all the lyrics and, you know, some whacked out pictures. The Black Angels are fantastic. Oh, and it came with a download card. I already have actually Black Angels Phosphine Dream on digital. So if anybody is interested in this code, just let me know and I will send it off to you. I better put that in my wallet because I'll forget where I put it and then somebody will be sad. So, in the wallet. Okay, so then, so that was Black Angels. I bought that after the show. The show is, I mean, like, Black Angels are fantastic. They too, they're psych, but not like, I don't know how to describe them. They're not like, they really combine psych and the rock well. So if you're into psych or rock, you know, they kind of skirt the line, and certain songs are more psychedelic than others, and so it's a great combination. So check them out if you haven't checked out Black Angels. So then I have a Stump the VC record, I think, here. So way back in the day, there's a local radio station, WORT. It's community radio, and they had shows where they would have people come in the studio and play, you know, short sets. You know, usually local people or people passing through town. And one time they had a show by a group called Big Big Bite. And it was very electronic with really tripped out vocals, and it really struck me as being cool. And I actually recorded it. Over the years, the tape got lost or whatever, and I have always been searching for that stuff. And I actually found the other day, I was like, I'm going to search for that again. And I searched, and I actually found, I think it was on SoundCloud or something. But I bought they had like 3 albums and an EP, and so I bought them all digitally. And the guy who was, the main part of the band, Jason Braz, he actually emailed me afterwards, and he's like, thanks for buying all our old music. And then he sent me links to some of their newer stuff. And his newer band is called Robots.txt. And so I went and looked, and they actually had 1 vinyl release. So I bought it. I also bought so they had like 2 releases. This one is called Human Serve Machine, and the other one is called Machine Serve Human. So this is on green vinyl, and that comes with the CD. This is the companion to Machine Serve Human. This is from 2008. So I'm going to guess that not a lot of people have this one. It's from Lunacast. So if you have this one, give me a shout. I'd be interested to see someone else's take on this. It's really interesting. It's, electronic stuff, you know. Either you're gonna love it or, you know, not. But I couldn't resist it. I'm like, vinyl, green vinyl. I mean, it's like translucent. Pretty cool. So yeah, so that was kind of a trip down memory lane, and you know, I like to support local people, so I picked that up. All right, so then let's see. Then there was an order that I placed. So whether or not she was involved, or now that she's whacked out or whatever, during the period of Live Through This and Celebrity Skin, I love me some Courtney Love and Hole. So I found this, Whole Lotta Love. This is Community Theater, Berkeley, California, December 9th, 1994. Live on KITS. So this is stuff from, I think I got Hungry Like the Wolf on here. This is stuff from Live Through This, and then a couple odds and ends. You know, it's a radio broadcast. The sound quality is, yeah, it's okay. She doesn't sound completely, you know, out of it in this show, so it's a pretty good pickup. I actually don't have Celebrity Skin or Live Through This, but I listen to them like constantly on digital. So this is really the first whole album that I've purchased. I need to get Celebrity Skin and Live Through This because those are really fantastic. Things before that, you know, didn't quite have it together. Things after that, things got pretty loose, and she was kind of out of control. So this is a good period for her. So I picked that up. All right. So then, okay. So then I went to, hang on a second. Happy Memorial Day for you guys, by the way. Half Price Books. So I picked this up. I do not own any U2 albums now except for this one, and I'll tell you the reason why. Actually, I don't think that's true. I think I got a U2 October from Dalton. But this one I had when I was renting a room in a house just off campus at UW Milwaukee, and I worked second shift for a long time, so I'd get home, you know, at 7:30 in the morning or whatever, and then, or third shift, and I'd get home at 7:30 in the morning, and I'd put this on to try to fall asleep while there was, you know, all the traffic noise, people going to school and all that stuff. And then for a while I worked an earlier shift, and I would come home and listen to this. But basically, like, for probably 2 months, I listened to this like every night when I went to sleep. It is totally, this album is like imprinted on me. Particularly side 2, that starts with 4th of July, that long jangly bass line, and then ends with MLK, which is just fantastic. So yeah, of all the U2 albums, I mean, everybody talks about the Joshua Tree, but I'm like, this is the one for me. It's got, you know, it's really echoey, and you know, there are touches of dub in here almost, which I think is why it really stuck with me. And then, you know, of course, sleeping to it for ages. So So yeah, came across this, and I'm like, I have to have that one. So pick that up. And then we had a couple cheapo pickups, but not, cheap, but not, maybe not bad, right? Aerosmith, Draw the Line. This was $2. So I had a tape that I made for my friend Alan, Jeff, and I played the song on it called Sight for Sore Eyes, and I named the tape Sound for Sore Ears. And this is the lead-off track on that album. So, I mean, it's got the original sleeve. So, yeah, that was a good one. It's falling apart a little bit, but 1977. What else? I got George Harrison, 33 1/3, right? Yeah. The booklet is falling, or not the booklet, the, what is going on? Oh, I must have taken it out, but so, yeah, 33 1/3. George. I didn't really care so much for George back in the day. Probably because I found it too plain, I guess. I don't want to say plain, but normal. Paul McCartney had just like some weird solo stuff, and that kind of got me. But it's George Harrison stuff, and in later days, which is really kind of fitting my style. So I'm really digging that. Okay, this one's for you, Hama Diggy. Gene Loves Jezebel, $2. This is the Promise album. It's like minty fresh. I don't know if anyone's ever played this, and they had it in there for $2. I really don't understand sometimes, why they put what they do in the discount bin, but yeah. So Gene Loves Jezebel. So now I have 3 Gene Loves Jezebel. Was that it for them? Okay, so then I have like piles everywhere. So I ordered this. What can be said about Chris Cornell? I like Soundgarden, but I don't think I would ever buy any Soundgarden albums. And I've heard some of his solo albums, and they're good, but I don't know if I would order them. But this one, I had to have. So my son tells the story of how on Sundays we used to put this. I had it on tape, I think, back then. We would put this on and do cleaning, or at least I was doing cleaning. So they really, a lot of these songs have really stuck with him. Now this is a 3-sided. I mean, this is clearly a reissue, right? It's not the. Download offer expires on December 31st, 2019. I'm going to have to get on that one. So this is the 25th anniversary edition, right? And it's 3-sided. So side 1's got 2 songs, side 2's got 4 songs, and side 3's got 4 songs. So that's a really weird format. I'm not sure I dig that, but I actually I had my finger on the button to buy this probably 2 months ago, and I thought, I'll wait. There was like older versions that were pretty expensive, and then reissues, and I was kind of hemming and hawing about, dude, I want to spend the money for, original one. I was like, So the day I heard that he had died, I was like, well, now I have to get it, and so I just bought the reissue, got it brand new. So have that one. Yeah, it's weird that my son Max remembers that, because I didn't know they were listening most of the time, but apparently they were. So, okay. So then, like I said, I sold 2 of the vinyl portraits that I had on sale, consignment sale at record store. So I went and I purchased a bunch of stuff that I'll be showing in a bit. But I'll show the cheapos that I bought, right? First of all, I don't think I've shown my Linda Ronstadt collection, and I probably won't, but I will confess to everyone here right now that I am a huge Linda Ronstadt fan. Yeah, she was kind of my early, first female musician that I really got into. So she's always really stuck with me up until I have the Nelson Riddle 3 album set, but anything after that I'm passing on. But anything before that, or those albums and before, I really dig. And it just so happens I came across this one. So this is Stony End, Linda Ronstadt and the Stone Ponies, and this is a Pickwick album, which is like worse than K-Tel, right? Yeah, like Pickwick. But this is the actual album, the first Linda Ronstadt album that I purchased. This album art is just a turd. This is terrible. This is a terrible picture. I assume that's supposed to be Linda Ronstadt, right? And then, it's not bad enough on the front. They had to blow it up for the back. If that's Linda Ronstadt, it's terrible. But yeah, this was the first one I had. And so I came across it for 99 cents, and I'm like, oh my god, I have to get this. So, Linda Ronstadt. Then we got some Siegel Schwall. So these guys are, I know they were in Madison for a while. I think they went to, I don't know where they went. This is on Vanguard, but Corky, so it's Corky Siegel and Jim Schwall. And Jim Schwall, I have heard him play guitar. He played for a dance program, and I was like, wow, that's really cool. And he plays around Madison, or had played around Madison quite a bit, so I knew the name. So years ago, when I saw a Siegel Schwall band album, I picked it up, and it was really quite good. So every time I see one, I grab it. So this is what? What's the name of this one? Siegel Schwall's 70. I see. So he's got, one of the songs is Tell Me by Howlin' Wolf on here, so I'm looking forward to it. I haven't listened to this yet. We got that for 99 cents. And this is the one that killed me, right? So, 99 cents for the first Neil Diamond album. And it is different, because I do have a mono and a stereo version of this album. And I paid, I want to say like upwards of $10 for this one, because I didn't have it. I had never seen it. And so I ordered it like from eBay. And then I find it for 99 cents. I'm like, are you kidding me? And it's like, it's really good shape. So somebody colored in some of the stuff on the back, unfortunately, but yeah, Neil Diamond. This is a great album for 99 cents. And I shared with you my George Thorogood story not too long ago. I think going to see his. Yeah, I remember doing that video. So I came across this for 99 cents. This has got No Particular Place to Go, Bad to the Bone, Blue Highway. So, can't go wrong for 99 cents. Jeez. I picked up a lot of Utopia albums, but this one is my absolute favorite. This is Oblivion. There's like a embossed, the Oblivion's embossed on the cover. I don't know if it's going to come through very well. And then there's an embossed picture of the band in the back. But this album is top notch. Every song is just crazy good. So I was stoked to find this for 99 cents. Yeah, man, this one's clean too. So this record store I go to, their discount bin is just fabulous. Shout out to Strictly Discs. And to add to my Jean-Luc Ponty collection, this is Civilized Evil. Max, if you're watching this, check some of this out. I know it's not hip-hop, but I think you might find this interesting. It's all, there's no vocals. It's just electric violin. And yeah, you hear electric violin and you're like, eh. But it's very jazzy. So particularly the old ones, you got a little, you know, smooth jazzy, you know, towards the end there. But this one's great. I love this cover too. Weird. Okay, and then I picked up this. This is Big Daddy's Son and the Outer Planets. This is their only album. Back in my Milwaukee days, when I was renting that room in the house, I used to record the Milwaukee School of Engineering. Yeah. I would record the radio programs because they were it was college radio, right? Done out of the engineering school. And I would record, like, you know, I'd just hit record on a tape and then go to class, whatever, come back and listen to it. And if there's a good song, I would use my dubbing tape deck and I would copy it out. And so I made these 2 tapes of WMSE music. And on one of these tapes is a song from Big Daddy's Son and the Outer Planets, which I really, really loved. And so I saw this album and I'm like, oh my god, no way. And it's signed by what's that? Elmo Nelson. I think this thing where it says Max Nix, I think that's the guy who wrote the liner notes, but this is signature. It says keep boppin', Elmo. Elmo, special thanks to Mo Nelson for his inestimable contribution in string bass and harmonica. So he's part of the band. So I'm like, no way. You find it, right? And it's signed by one of the band members. That's cool. So this is Jazzbo LP001. So I was like, oh my god, and I grabbed it, right? And I get home and I start looking over the song list. I'm like, what the hell? The song that I wanted was Crazy Mixed Up World, which is actually, I think, a cover of Willie Dixon, right? And it's not on this album. Of course, I was like destroyed, right? I'm like, well, so I've listened to this and it's fantastic, but that song is missing. So, of course, I go on to Discogs, and that song was released on a single. One of the only other things he released. So, you know, I'm not a huge fan of 7 inches, but I had to buy it. So, I bought this. Out Here in Space. This is Big Daddy's Son and the Outer Planets. It's a 4-song EP, I guess, a single. It's got the Outer Planets, What a Rocket, Crazy Mixed Up World, and smack dab in the middle. Oh man, seems like there's another one too, because on here it says, the first 50 orders will receive a free copy of Big Daddy's single Tupelo Dust back with Rock of Graces. So I guess there's another one, but this is the one that I wanted because it has Crazy Mixed Up World. This is on Pogo Records. So yeah, so Big Daddy and the Outer Planets are Ron Cannon, guitar and vocals, Elmo Nelson, bass, vocals and harmonica, and Mark Obu, drums and screams. So Big Daddy, Son and the Outer Planets. Does anybody have these? Anybody have these two? I was really shocked to find that one in the pile. So, okay. Now, how much battery do I have left? Okay. Oh, I'm going to have to make this a 2-parter because actually the battery's almost dead. But I have a pile of records to show that I will be adding to my Hipgnosis catalog, or my Hipgnosis collection. And Spinning Greek. Did you get this? So the price was $40 when I pre-ordered, and by the time they actually sent it out, it had dropped to $25, which is totally worth it. There's It's awesome. But anyway, that's going to be part 2 of this. It's going to be the Hipgnosis haul and book. So stay tuned for part 2. That's it for now. So coming back at you, part 2.